I keep on moving forward, always getting closer.
Welcome to More Fanime. I'm your fan of More Anime. What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be reviewing chapters 251 through 275 of the Bleach manga. This is my first time experiencing these chapters, and I gotta say, I'm enjoying this series so much. The preconceived notion that Bleach is less than One Piece and Naruto, I'm starting to think that's just a lie from people who have never read this series, because it's fantastic in the manga. I even started some of the anime, and it's pretty good as well. I gotta say the manga is superior so far, but that's honestly true with pretty much every anime out there. If you haven't actually taken the time to actually read a series, it does, get to the brass tacks, cuts all the filler, tells you what's, truly canon, that the author truly wanted you to see. And I think this author, his name is Tite Kubo, is fantastic in his art and his storytelling. I think it's kind of like a mixture of Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball, most definitely inspired by those two amazing stories. It has that kind of feel, that vibe, but I gotta keep saying the art is fantastic because it's beautiful, and the paneling, fantastic. These 25 chapters were very fun, but they were very reminiscent of the Soul Society arc when they raided the Soul Society and split up. More like, I think they went in groups of one, but they ended up teaming up with these little Aaron Card children. One is Nell, this little girl who has vomit and or spit that can heal you. Nell is the only one of these Aaron Card children that I think might be important later in the story, but right now she's kind of just an obstacle for Ichigo, or a plot device for Ichigo to protect. Same with the other two, are more gag characters. I'm not sure if they're actually necessary for this story. We'll have to wait and see. They're funny, I guess. It's just a lot of little, manga jokes within it. They're kind of breaking the fourth wall in a few scenarios. I wasn't really here for it. I was kind of more focused on what Renji is doing, what Chad is doing, what Yuri is doing, what Ruki is doing, and what Ichigo is doing. And they're doing a lot. They're splitting up. They're taking on different former Espada members who now rank in the hundreds, which means they used to be members of the Espada, is what I get from the story. I think number 103 takes on Ichigo, and his name is Dordani is what I got here. Dordani is a flamboyant, eccentric character, former Espada. He wants to take Ichigo on at his best. He wants to see Ichigo pull out his holification, and he pushes him to the limit. He attacks, or attempts to attack Nell, the little girl I mentioned, to bring that, ruthlessness out of Ichigo, because Ichigo wasn't going to activate his holification because he knows it's limiting. It's limited. It's a limited power-up. He can only do it for about 10 seconds, and it drains him almost immediately. And in this fight, he does it for 1 second. He says, I can only do it for 1 second, so watch closely. And he summons the holification mask, and he slashes down Dordino. And then a group sent by, I think, the 8th Espada, this doctor-type fella, doctor-type scientist-type character. He sent this cleanup crew to go attack Ichigo, I think. Ichigo takes off with Nell, and Dordino ends up respecting Ichigo for showing him his full power and staying back and holding them off. I think Dordino is dead, but I liked his character. He was fun. He was stronger than I expected him to be. I thought he was just going to be a gag villain, but I ended up respecting his sacrifice in the end. I did get a little repetitive, though, because Chad went toe-to-toe with another former Aaron Card named Mosqueda, this dude with an afro. He was alright, but they went toe-to-toe. We got to see Chad's new ability. He's got a shield arm, the one we've seen before, but now it has a shield on it. It's like his defensive arm, his right arm, the one we already seen that gets covered in the I think it's a black type substance, and then the other arm, he summons his offensive left arm, which he discovered training, or he discovered in this battle. I found it a little confusing. He explains that this arm, his left, is his offensive arm, and the shield arm is his defensive arm. I can get that. And his powers are more like a hollow. I was always wondering from the beginning, since Chad got his powers, what they were. Are they Soul Reaper? Or, what is it? What is giving him this power? Is it his grandfather's, soul, imbued into his? I don't know. I just wanted to know some answers. I think even Kisuke, Hattenclogs, wasn't sure either. But it seems like Chad thinks that it's more of a, what would you call it, hollow-like power-up. I don't know how he got it. Maybe we'll get more explanation later about it. But Chad summons this shield. He blocks this dude's attack. But then he summons the attack arm and says, "This is my offensive arm. Get ready." And the dude shoots another attack at Chad, with his Bankai transformation thing. And Chad defensively blocks the attack with his offensive arm that he just explained was his offensive arm. And he didn't block it with the shield arm. That is where I was checked out. I was like, Chad, you just said this is your punching arm and this is your defense arm. Just do it that way. Why would you summon an offensive attacking arm? Maybe it looks better in the anime and it's better explained in the anime, but it looked like he blocked an attack with his offensive arm. Fine. Chad gets a power up. I've been asking for Chad to get more Chadly, and he did. Very happy about that. But once he beats this guy, he tells him, "Hey, I respect you. I'm not going to kill you." Chad says that. I didn't think Chad was out to kill people anyway, but I'm not going to overly, beat you up because you helped me just, really hone this offensive arm technique that I have going on here. It's pretty badass. So yeah, you're cool with me. We're both Chadly. And this dude with the fro is like, okay, I can't move. And then an actual member of the Espada, I believe, shows up with this scythe. The fifth Espada shows up named Gilga. He's a kind of a creepy dude, has a creepy smile. He has a scythe-like weapon. He shows up, still don't know a whole lot about him, and he essentially one-shots Chad, who just got a power-up and just got an epic win against a former Espada. So I'm like, come on, guys, come on, Tight. What are you doing? You gave Chad a badass power-up. It was explained to be an offensive arm, but you used it defensively. Fine. But then you go and bring in a Espada number 5, and he comes in and just wipes the floor with Chad, essentially bringing him back down to being a jobber. And I don't want that for Chad. I don't want Chad to get the Yamcha treatment where he just shows up to beat a weaker enemy and then to get smacked back down to the lower tier fighters on the good guy side. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. We want Chad to succeed. So Chad's out. Rukia ends up fighting the 9th Espada, this shapeshifter, which was actually very confusing at first because he transforms into Rukia's old captain, or vice captain, this dude that looks a lot like Ichigo, and that guy died and was consumed by a hollow back in the Dizay. We've seen that flashback. And Rukia, felt responsible for his death. So this was really tough for her. I was very interested in this portion of the manga because I was like, is this the actual guy? Are we going to get this black-haired version of Ichigo as an actual character? Is he going to return in this new hollow body? Because he was eaten by a hollow. I started to theorize, well, maybe he was able to mentally control this hollow body thanks to his new Espada Aaron card transformation, but it wasn't that. It actually was not him. He is dead. He is gone. It is a different guy, a hollow who ate the hollow who ate him. and gained the power that hollow had, which was able to he was able to fuse with other hollows and take their abilities, and he ends up transforming into 3,000 hollows combined in this giant blob thing, and he's like, I'm gonna beat you, Rukia. And they do show that he's just a transformation, and his transformation only works outside of sunlight, so they had to go into a dark room. He tried to trick Rukia into thinking that it was actually her former captain, and she was like, he wouldn't be a dick. He wouldn't be an asshole. He wouldn't expect me to sacrifice my friends or myself for them. That's not happening, bud. You're not that guy. So she ends up going toe-to-toe with this guy. He breaks Rukia's Zanpakuto, and you're just like, how is she going to get out of this? I mean, up until this point, we really don't know how strong Rukia is. We know she got her Soul Reaper power back. Badass. But how powerful is she compared to somebody like Ichigo or Renji? I know she's very good with spells, and that's cool. They don't really incorporate spells too much, but they did in these 25 chapters, which I appreciated. And the other thing about her is she uses a snow type Zanpakuto, and it's kind of like ice type as well. And it's confusing because Toshinori, Toshi dude, the little kid Soul Reaper, he's an ice type at a higher caliber, at least from what they've shown. So I'm like, I wonder how this is going to work, because it also reminds me of Monet from One Piece, who had the snow fruit and had the power to turn into snow, blah, 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 blah. It could be a powerful move, but it definitely will never be as powerful as ice. But she goes toe-to-toe with this guy. She gets impaled through the gut. You think, Rukia could die here. Could you imagine if Rukia was killed here? It'd be so sad, especially after we spent all that time saving her. So in my head, I'm like, well, they're not going to kill her. We spent way too much time saving her. She's essentially the second main character next to Ichigo. Ain't happening today. Not against the number 9 Espada. But in my head, I'm like, can Rukia beat the 9th Espada? Is that where her power is? Can she compare with somebody like this, especially someone who essentially has thousands upon thousands of absorbed hollows within him with different abilities, but really didn't come to manifest? They kind of just turned into this giant hollow blob, and her sword is broke, and it's like, she's gonna die. Eventually, she uses her snow powers, her snow Zanpakuto, and extends the broken blade with a ice-like blade, which was confusing because I thought her powers were snow. Fine, she sharpens some snow, stabs this dude one time, Dunsky. All it took was a straight shot through whatever part of his body, his heart, his head. Dunsky. Number 9, Outski. Rukia gets the victory, but we are led to believe that she died, and I haven't got the, confirmation that she's okay yet. Even Orihime was worried and was just like, she can't be dead. This can't be possible. Maybe her spirit energy just dropped, but she can't be dead. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way they're killing Rukia. But if they did, I'd be fucking intrigued. I'd be like, whoa, where is this story going? I mean, they could bring her back like they did with the Genkai in Yu Yu Hakusho. She goes to the spirit realm. They have to, find her soul, recycle her, turn her back into a Soul Reaper, or maybe turn her into a human or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll get permission from Yamato, the old man, to bring her back somehow. I hope it's not like that. I hate when they have a sad death in anime/manga, and then they, in an arc later, they find some magical way they didn't know how to do before to bring her back, and you're like, so that death really didn't mean that much, did it? But it would. I mean, I'd be sad. But either way, Orihime gets attacked by 2 Aaron Card little girls that try to beat her up and treat her like shiz. She's locked in a room, worrying about her friends, just feeling energy levels everywhere, going, why are people dying around me right now? They don't need to come save me. I came here by my own willpower. She's chilling, but she gets her ass beat by these 2 girls. They're just basically just being rude. Grimjow shows up for this one time, busts through the door, and kills one of them and rips off one of the other one's legs, like breaks it off like a Kit Kat bar, and then he frees Orihime, and Orihime, before she, even talks to Grimjaw, was like, I'm gonna bring back the Aaron card you just killed that was beating me up, with her crazy, time reversal healing powers, which just seem endless at this point. She brings back this Aaron card who is a total dick, which I know Orihime, you're a good person, but we got to start eliminating some of these characters. We can't just bring back people because we feel bad for them. They're our enemy. I don't think they're going to turn good for us. Maybe they will. There's a few of them that seem kind of nice, actually. And it's kind of getting old because I thought these were the embodiment of evil souls. But the dude that Ichigo fought, the flamboyant number 103, and the dude that Chad fought were both it's cool, run, we'll protect you, for a hot minute after they, got defeated. They were like, I respect you. And I get that, but at the same time, I don't need all of the Hollows to have this slightly good side to them. It's just to have some evil. They're supposed to be the embodiment of evil souls, and some of them are. So maybe it's just like humans, some are good, some are bad. You just gotta see what you get. Orihime ends up going with Grimjaw, I think. But Grimjaw explains to her that he helped her because she fixed his arm and made him, whole again. And now he's the number 6, the Spada. So that makes him happy. He's a happy fella. So, what happens next? Uryu ends up fighting this ladybug type Aaron card. I think it was number 106 or something, 105. Doesn't matter. He ends up teaming up with another Aaron card girl. No, I don't know, bug-like kid. They work together with his slippery stuff. He's kind of just a gag character, not important. Uryu pulls out this crazy medical knife and imbues it with his Quincy powers and launches it, takes out her spirit energy. Top tier win for Uryu, who has totally improved thanks to his training with his father. And I feel like even after that, he shows off even more. So I think his ceiling is even higher than he's shown us so far. He doesn't get knocked back down like Chad did. So Uryu has a little bit more potential, being the one of the few Quincy's left in the world. He ends up teaming up with Renji, who is dealing with a actual Espada. I think his number Grands. Yeah, Grands. I'm not going to even try to say this last name. It's got a million letters. But Grands, the scientist-like Espada member, number 8, goes toe-to-toe with Renji, and Renji can't use his Bankai in this room that he's in that has been scientifically designed to fuck with, Bankai powers, Soul Reaper powers. And so Renji's just having to use his normal sword transformation thingy. And it's just, trying to get this dude, but it's not working out. Renji's getting his age beat by him, and he's also got a bunch of soldiers with him, so fudge a bunch of Aaron card hollow creatures that are working for him. But luckily for him, Uryu shows up, starts launching some arrows, and he shows up and he's like, Renji, me and you, we team up right here, right now. And they do team up in a badass way. They come up. Renji's like, you're the plan guy, Uryu. I'm just I'm the powerhouse. Let me be the powerhouse. Renji ends up wrapping himself and this guy Grands in his sword, the sword that stretches and whatnot. And he explains that he was never really good at spells or using spells, but he can use them. It's just a little dangerous. And he ends up using some type of explosion spell on both of them. And he was being talked down to by this dude for a hot minute during these 25 chapters, getting his ass beat, being like, you're just a big dumb brute. You can't beat me. I'm smarter than you, type of thing. He explodes both of them, and he's like, let's find out which one of us is more durable. Obviously, Renji, the tough SOB that he is, is more durable. They both go down, and then Uryu uses this opportunity while this dude is hurting to surround him and do like a five-way shot of Quincy arrows with the blade and take him out. I'm pretty sure he's dead, but they didn't really show the body yet. It was like literally at the end of chapter 275. If you haven't been following my reviews, I've been doing these 25 chapters at a time just so I can remember as much as physically possible. So, for recap, Ruki is down, Chad's down. Both of them could possibly be dead at this point. I do feel like someone needs to go during this arc. Like, there really hasn't been a main death in the main cast of protagonists. I'd like to see some kind of sad sacrifice, because they're taking on the best of the best here. And these guys just had maybe a month of training at best, and they're going in head first, blind, without any information about these opponents. And I understand they're much stronger than they were at the Soul Society arc, but I would like to see some type of a sacrifice. Could be somebody like Renji, could be somebody like Chad. I can't imagine Rukia going down. I can't imagine Ichigo going down, because they're the top diggity dogs of this story. But Chad and Renji could fit that bill. Uryu kind of seems important, being the final Quincy, so let him stay around as well. A good little rival of sorts for Ichigo, even though it's never seemed like he even could compare to the powerhouse that Ichigo is. In the final few chapters, Ichigo ends up taking on number 4, Cypher. This dude's been around for a hot minute. He showed up in the human world, and he did a couple things. We didn't get to see him do a whole lot, but this time he goes toe-to-toe with Ichigo, and Ichigo's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass. If I can beat you, then I can save Orihime. And he, holifications, he comes at him and he attacks him, and he's like, he blocks it. Cypher actually blocks it, and he's like, is that really all you got? I know you had this holification thing, I've kind of seen it here and there, but that's all you got? And Ichigo's like, well, if I can beat you, it's over, right? You're the top dog, you're the top Espada. And he reveals on his chest, I'm number 4, Ichigo. So if you happen to geek out a win here against me with your holification transformation power-up, you still have 3 more Espada to deal with. And I don't think that includes, please comment down below if it does, I don't think that includes Gin or Aizen or the other guy, the blind Soul Reaper. I don't think that includes those 3. Those guys are like the generals. That'll be the final fight at the end of this saga. But I think the actual Espada, there's 3 more I haven't seen yet beyond Cypher. And they're probably just OP as shiz. And right now, Ichigo can't stand against number 4. This dude that's been around for a hot minute in the story that I thought we hadn't actually seen him fight. And he might have a good side to him. He's kind of had this weird relationship with Orihime where he's been pretty nice to her. He'd be like, you can come with us quietly or I'll make you, or I'll kill your friends. He's very, reasonable for being a monster of a man. But essentially, Ichigo's running out of power. His holification ain't enough to go head-to-head with Cypher. That battle is not concluded yet. I assume Ichigo's going to find a way to maybe holify even more? Go to holification level 2 to beat this guy? Or Renji and Uryu will show up and back him up. I think Chad is out of the picture. Maybe he'll get back up and do something later, but I think he's done-ski. So I am excited to see if Ichigo can overcome this obstacle. Obviously, he probably will at some point, but will it happen now in this current arc? We'll find out. But all in all, these 25 chapters were really fun. I'm still waiting for like some mysteries to be solved. I really want to know more about Aizen. I really want to know more about Gin, who's just kind of been a watcher and a waiter. This dude Gin, I thought he was the main villain of the story for the longest time, but he's the number 2 to Aizen. Why? How strong is Gin compared to Aizen? He's only shown some of his power. Gin is such a mystery. This dude, I don't know if he's even a bad guy. He might be a secret double agent within the Espada that's just, keeping track of this dude, Aizen. Like, he's been, like, secretly working for the Soul Reapers this whole time. But I think if he was, they would have known about the coup that happened back at the Soul Society arc, unless they told him, you need to stay undercover until the bitter end, and then maybe in the last minute, he'll just stab Aizen in the back. We'll have to wait and see. He's one of the characters I want to see at full potential, explain who he is, where he came from, because it seemed like he had some friends back at the Soul Society arc when he said bye-bye. So it will be interesting to see when Tight finally decides to give me all the information I'd like to consume about Gin and Aizen. I think that's it. That's it. Chad got a beastly power-up and then got slapped back down, and I will not forgive Tight for that. Hopefully Chad gets back up and maybe gets some new leg armor or something and really shows off his Chadliness. We'll have to wait and see. But this is More Fanime. What did you think of these 25-chapter Bleach review? Have you read it? Have you experienced Bleach? I highly recommend it. I'll talk to you later.
And just like a soldier, I keep on moving forward, always getting closer. I'm marching till it's over.